All right, awesome. So excited to be here.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, thank you everyone. And we're right now being live streamed on MaxUp LinkedIn page and Scholarship Track YouTube channel. So we are so excited to be here with everyone. It's Saturday, 12 p.m. here in New York. Where are you right now, Sashi?
I'm in New York as well.
Oh, there we go. So it's a sunny, cold day in New York here. And hi everyone who's watching right now. Awesome. So, we'll start in about a second, just checking in to see if we're live. Yep, we are live right now. All right. So, everyone who's in the audience, where are you guys tuning in from? Put it on the comments. We want to see where you guys are coming from. I know it's like 9 a.m. for some people in the West Coast. I know some people are international, so we want to see where you guys are tuning in from. Put it on the comments, and we
Mhm.
want to see and feel the energy. So show some love, click on the love button, share this live, and comment and tag your friends so that they can also get this information as well. So, are we ready to get started?
Yep.
Awesome, awesome. So, I love your T-shirt, by the way.
Thank you.
I need to get one of those as well. But yeah, thank you everyone for for being here. Okay, so I see Philadelphia, New Jersey, Florida, India, Seattle, Qatar. Oh my
Doha.
gosh,
Wow.
a lot of different places. I love it. I love it. Awesome. So everyone, please put in the comments if you're energized. Put energy. What is your level of energy right now? My level from 1 to 10, it's 15.
Wow.
Everyone else,
I
everyone
am
else.
pretty
If you're
sure.
energized, put what percentage? 1 to 10. 10, 5, 2. Because if you're lower than 5 today, we are going to take that energy to 10 because you need to be energized because it's Saturday, because it's a day to just go out there and get your goals. All
Yeah.
right. Awesome.
Mhm.
So, Sashi, you want to give shout out to people that are commenting right now?
Yes. Hi, Elsa. We see you. Hi from Toronto, Vancouver. Wow. We have people from all over.
I love
6,
it.
10,
I love
10. Let's go.
it. I love it. Let's see here. Okay, so we have Philadelphia. Let's see what else. It's 10:30 p.m. somewhere. My
It's in
goodness.
India. I'm sure
And
it's in
yeah,
India.
thank you so much for being here. Let's see. Florida,
Yeah.
New Jersey.
We love the
Hey
excitement.
Maribel, thank you for being here. Seattle, let's see. Hey Elsa, love it. Toronto, awesome. So I see some people saying that their energy levels are like 6,
Yeah.
9, 8. We're getting there, right? It's okay. It's early in the morning for some people. It's
Yeah.
late enough for some people, and we understand. But we are here to help you guys and also to share our struggles and failures to Google. So without further ado, you want to start with the questions, Ashley?
Yeah, sure. So, we're just gonna talk about some questions that we have picked and we thought would help you. But after that, feel free to send in your questions and comments, and we'll try our best to cover them as well. So, let's get started. So, Stephanie, what is something you regret doing in your job search before that you wished you would have done differently?
Yeah, that's a great question. Everyone, look, I think we all have something that we regret doing when we're like navigating our job search. I think me personally, when I was job searching, I didn't really know the importance of networking, right? I was going to network with people, I was meeting new people, but I was not really doing it intentionally, right? So when you do things in life, in anything that you want to do, make sure you do them intentionally. So when I was doing my job search, when I was in my journey, I was, scared. I was a little shy. I don't know, a lot of you guys know, but I didn't necessarily speak English by that time. I'm talking about three years ago. And for me, it was kind of like difficult to communicate with people, and so that kind of like took a lot of my passion to speak, and just like became and kind of like gave me a lot of like lack of confidence. And so that, with like not really being intentional but networking, it's something that I wish I would have done differently, because those people who you network with on your job search, maybe people who are like also trying to get a job, might
Hmm.
be the people in the future that work with you, right? That might be the people that you might meet on another company when you go there. And so I wish I would have networked more intentionally, be more confident on like what I brought to the table, and last but not least, use LinkedIn even more because I
Hmm.
started fully on LinkedIn in 2019. But I wish I would have been on it before that and like kind of like doing that genuine and intentional networking back then, because LinkedIn can give you so much that it has given me so much. And even in like some of the roles that I've gotten, I've have been through LinkedIn. So for everyone out there, if you are not on LinkedIn as an active user, you need to change your status from a passive to an active user today. What about you? What do you have to say?
That's some very good insight, and I would agree to all of that. I used to, at some point, hate LinkedIn until I think this year. I didn't even have a complete profile, so I would add on to that. Definitely complete your profile and network with people. But I think the one biggest mistake I did was not applying enough and not researching companies. For me, especially as an international student, I didn't even know about the companies here. So I was like, I'll only apply to those I have heard of. I don't know about the others. Maybe they'll not sponsor, or maybe this and that. So don't make that mistake. Apply to every single place you can. You never know. It's better to have something than not have anything at all. Definitely shoot for the moon, stars, the whole universe, but also make sure you have all your backup plans ready. That is one mistake I did, not researching enough companies, not applying enough. And I started very late. That is the second mistake. I do not know how the recruiting timeline works. So apply as early as you can, because the earlier you apply, there are less applicants, as well as a lot of roles also fill out very quickly. So the earlier you apply, the more chances you have. Then referrals, I think everybody talks about this. So let's not even get there. But yes, try and get referrals where you can, and where you can, just apply early. Those are the three biggest things I did not do last year, and I did them differently this year, which I think helped me a lot. And even I see a lot of people when they get some interviews of some company that they really wish for, and they're not prepared because that's probably their first interview, or they're just getting started with interview. They get scared and they're like, okay, maybe I'll reschedule it, maybe I'll cancel it. Don't do that. Even if you feel like you're going to bomb the interview, just go for it. You'll get an experience, you'll get some sort of confidence, you'll get something that you can apply in your next interview. So even if you're totally unprepared and it's your dream company, still go for it. Even if you know you're going to bomb, it's not like they're going to blacklist you just for doing poorly that in that interview. They'll always give you another chance. So make sure you go and get that experience from everywhere.
I love that. And I think when
Mhm.
you mentioned was important of not being afraid of putting yourself out there, right? So I think like that applies everywhere, right? If you're trying to break into an industry, if you're trying to change from one job to another job, right? Like, don't be afraid to put yourself out there, and don't
Mhm.
be afraid to just try, because at the end of the day, no one is prepared for interviews. Like, no one is
Mhm.
perfect. um you know
Yeah.
we're not gonna like just like ace an interview or just like get a job right off the bat, right? Like, you need some preparation, and it's gonna happen. Like, we're gonna fail. Like, that's why we make decided like our failures, right? Our failures to go, because really, like, we fail so much before we actually got where we are today, right? So don't be afraid to fail. I think like a lot of people are afraid to like, oh, I'm gonna fail, like I'm not gonna get it right. Like, don't be afraid to fail, because sometimes those failures can turn into opportunities, like how they did for us. All right. So, everyone, if you're in the audience, if you have questions, we'll be taking questions as well. So, you can just put your question on the comments, and we'll be taking those questions and answering them. And if you find this insightful, click the love button, right? Comment here. How are you feeling right now in your job search? What is something that you're struggling with right now in your job search that maybe we can help you with? But yeah, Sashi, you want to go to the next question?
Yeah, sure. So, what was your biggest failure, and what did you learn from that experience?
Ooh, this question is tough. So I think my biggest failure was man, so many of them. I think my biggest failure was when I got rejected from some of my dream companies. Um I wouldn't call the rejection itself a failure. What I would call a failure would be my action towards it, right? Like how do I react towards it, right? So when you get rejected from a company, sometimes we make the mistakes of just like completely closing the door from that company,
Mm-hmm.
like not applying ever again, not reaching out to the recruiter again, and all those things. Like we made a post yesterday about like how to turn rejection into opportunities, and I think like there's something there that it really means. Like I really wish I knew back then when I was like failing all those interviews and like not getting the offers was that um it it's okay if you fail. What it's not okay, it's the fact that you're not taking an active approach towards it and you're just like walking away from that failure, right? So I think when you fail, you really have to do some self analysis, see what went wrong, what can you do better for next time, what can be improved, and then like take from there and move on to maybe try again with that same failure, right? And I didn't do that. Like I used to be so afraid, like if they already rejected me, like why would I apply again, like why would I keep in touch and things like that. So I think my biggest failure was not doing what I needed to do, so that maybe those failures could have turned into opportunities early on. And I didn't learn that until later on when I saw like people apply 3-4 times to the same company before getting a job.
Yeah.
So I wish like I would have done that differently. But I can definitely tell like that was like the biggest failure that in what I learned from that as well. What about you?
So like you, I'm gonna talk about a series of failures as such. So, I think I won't go too far, but quite recently, I would say the first failure was not getting into you say, what do you call, one of the Ivy Leagues or one of the dream colleges. Then I would say not being able to transfer to a different college. Then after that, I applied to a bunch of places in my first year. Then I got rejected from all of that, probably 100 applications. Between last year and this year, I got rejected from over 150 places. So that is another failure. And then I got one interview last year from Facebook. I think that was the only interview I got last year. And I completely bombed it. Even though I took a whole month to prepare for it, I was blank. It was so bad. Like the minute the question was presented to me, I was blank. So that is another failure. So what I'm trying to say is, doesn't matter where you go to school, how many times you've been rejected, or if you bombed your first interviews, or if you didn't do well in your exam, doesn't matter. As long as you're persistent, you see where everyone is. So I'm sure you'll get there if you stay persistent. And I think this is the most important thing I've learned, is to not give up. So I used to get demotivated every time I was rejected from all of these places. And reading rejection emails first thing in the morning when you wake up sucks. Like, you do not want to start your day like that. But it definitely makes you more patient, makes you more stronger. But make sure you don't give up. Like, of course, be sad for a day, eat a pizza, cheer yourself up. That's okay. But make sure you learn from that and you keep persisting and not give up on your goal. Like, it's too unreachable. Make sure that you're able to attain it. So that's what I've learned from all of these.
Yeah, when you said that you got rejected all those times, I was thinking like, man, me too. I was
Yeah.
thinking like, wow, like I've been rejected so many times that
Yeah.
it's just like countless the amount of like rejection emails that we get, and it's just like sometimes it seems like it was easy, but like it really was not. Like we got in some huge rejections before being here, so I can definitely attest that. We have some questions in the comments. You want to take one question from the audience?
Yeah, somebody asked me, what college are you in right now? I am at New York Institute of Technology. It's a great college. It's. I'm not saying it's a bad college. I totally love it. It has great facilities, everything. I'm just saying that how we go for the names, like we go for, say, an MIT or Harvard. That's what I meant by that. But I absolutely love my college as well.
Yeah, and by the way, I go to Baruch College as well, so I'm across the river from where Sash go to school. So
Yeah.
I'm also in New York as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I'm gonna answer this question. Where is it? Yep. So Abigail asks, how has MaxUp helped you in terms of advancing in your college career and your job search? Yeah, so I am actually the founder of MaxUp, and I have been helping other people advance in their careers and basically get to their dream roles. So when I was, as I said, when I was job searching, there was a lot of struggles and a lot of things that I didn't know that I wish I knew. And I know a lot of, like, especially college students are going through that same scenario where like they don't feel that they have the enough resources and enough information. And so I decided to create Max Up in 2019. I've been a career coach ever since. It's about to be 2 years now, and I've been helping people, getting into their dream roles and maximize their potential, which is our mission. We've helped like thousands of people so far, and I can say that creating Max Up and creating this community has been one of the best things that I've done in my life. So that really tells a lot about like how much I like and enjoy doing this with everyone. I know Saskia is in the comments as well, and she talks a lot about how Max Up has helped her as well. And I think like at the end of the day, it's the impact, right? The impact we can have on other people, and I think like that also applies to like scholarship track. Like they also want to create an impact on others people's lives as well. So that's what I would say, like for me, and what I value the most about what I do.
Mhm.
But yeah, thank you so much for the questions that you guys are getting into. The last question we're gonna answer from the audience, and we're gonna move on to the other questions. How many companies do you apply to? Let me know.
Oh, I don't even have a track. Probably, like, if you're asking only this year, then I think probably 150 only this year. Between last year and this year, almost like 400, 500. I'm not sure.
Wow,
I think 400.
400. That's a lot. My
Yeah,
goodness.
like every opportunity I see on LinkedIn, I went crazy. This one time I was like a maniac. Every time I saw easy apply, I would just apply. Like I totally and I regret doing that. I wouldn't encourage that in any way. Make sure you're reading properly, you're taking the proper steps, putting in cover letters in some places they're really beneficial. And I'm in no ways encouraging that. But I think every one of us is at that one phase where you're like you just want to get in anywhere you can and you go on. And I'm sure many people out there, I see people's LinkedIn posts, they are going through the same thing. So I made that mistake. So I would say no, take the time out, choose your companies, apply well, do your research and all of that. So yeah, don't
Yeah,
ask me that question again.
yeah, like being intentional about companies to apply to, right? I remember I applied to like over 100 something companies last year too, before I got my opportunity at Google. So I can definitely tell you that I had that similar experience. But yeah, so Abigail, you asked before, there are some upcoming opportunities and events. We are launching a program, or not a program, but a series to help students who don't have a summer internship. So basically, we'll be preparing students from March all the way till the end of May to
Mhm.
get a summer internship with us, and that's going to be super huge. We have some amazing mentors from different companies and things like that. So I hope that everyone applies and that
Mhm.
everyone just become part of the community. But yeah, thank you so much for those questions. So I'm seeing a lot of questions about like what we do or what we're gonna be doing at Google, and kind of like what the program that we're doing it's about. So you want to tell a little bit about what Google Step is?
Yeah, sure. I can do that. So Google Step is basically it's similar to software engineering. It's just for first and second year students. It's called Google Step. So it's not as difficult as software engineering, but it's still a software engineering project that you work on. It's just that there are not many restrictions to it as you would have as a SWE intern, but it's basically software training engineering practicum to make sure like you're continuing on this path down, like doing computer science or coding and stuff like that. So it's very similar to a software engineering internship, but I personally haven't done it yet, so I can talk more about my experience after that. But in a nutshell, that is what it is. It is a SWE internship for first and second year students.
Love it, love it. And yeah, so I'll tell a little bit about the one that I will be doing. But just to answer quickly, I see a lot of questions. So we help all type of majors, anyone and everyone, and I'll tell you why. So I used to think that there were not opportunities for me at a tech company before because I have zero technical background. So, fun fact: my major in college it's accounting, and I have like a background in financial services. So I have a zero background in technology, CS, software engineering, none of that, right? So I didn't know, or I didn't think that working at a tech company like Google was like something that I could do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I am actually doing a non-technical role at Google. So I'm doing their Bolt program. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of it. So Google Bolt, it's the I think the third year kind of like regular summer internship for students, and basically they have different type of divisions or line of businesses. So there's finance and accounting, there is marketing, the APMM. A lot of people know about the APMM. Um, there is the what else? The sales, the global customer care. Well, it's a lot of different ones, right? I'm doing finance and accounting, so I am basically applying like my accounting and finance background into the summer internship for the Bold program. And so, as you see, like there's opportunities for people who for like me don't come from like a technical background, basically. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we do help max up like all majors and people that have a
There's
non-technical
opportunities for people.
technical background as well. But yeah, you wanna go to the next question?
Yeah, sure. So there are some more questions in the comments right now, but we'll get back to it in a bit. We'll just go through some more questions. Um, so, what changes did you make in your job search strategies?
Great question. So, first, when I was like applying for so many companies, kept getting rejected and rejected and rejected over and over again. So I decided to say, let me sit down, let me take a look at what I'm actually doing when I'm like going into these interviews and like applying for companies, and let me try to like change a strategy, right? So I used to just like apply for a company and then like going into the interview, do my research, sure, and then that's it, fail the interview, or because I didn't do like the necessarily preparation or networking. If you're preparing for an interview and you see that you only prepare for like 2 hours, double that time, right? If you did 2 hours, do four. If you usually do five, do 10. Literally, because this could be the position or the role that can change your career, right? So double the time that you're interviewing. Um, do so. I made a post about this like a month ago, and I always repeat that, right? Don't wait until you actually submit the application for you to start like networking and preparing, right? Do the job before you actually apply. So once you
Very
know
true.
when the application's open, you're not going to wait. Like, let's say there's hypothetically, let's say that Google opened some of the applications in the fall, right? And we are in February right now. You're not going to wait until to the fall to start networking and like doing what you need to do in terms of preparation and research when you actually go into applying. Like, that's not the goal, because what's going to happen is that, let's say you apply and you get selected for an interview and you have a week to prepare. Now you're under pressure because you have only a week to prepare for this. Whereas if you could have done the work beforehand, you would have seen, like, hey, I don't have a week to prepare now. I've been preparing all these months. Like, I've
Mhm.
been going on coffee chats. I've been doing mock interviews beforehand. I've been doing what it takes. I've been doing 70% of the job before I actually apply, because I am manifesting that I am going to get in to the interview, and I want to prepare beforehand. So that's what I wish I would have done differently, that I then did different last year, which is doing the work before you actually apply, networking with people, and then trying to get to know what they do on their roles before you actually hit the application button. But what do you have to say?
That's great. So, for me, I covered some of the things previously. Like I said, I tried to apply early, I tried to get referrals, and I tried to apply to more places. But some more things that I did were attend conferences. I think conferences really give you a boost in the line. You can take it like a nitro boost. So you're in a car race, and then you go to a conference, you get this nitro boost that puts you in front of the line sometimes, because you network with people, you get direct contacts with recruiters. And also a lot of these conferences have submissions of resumes on their um, either over there in person, and this year it was all virtual, so you had to submit on their booths. And they usually have separate applications for conferences, and they are not as many as normal applications, so they are gone through quickly and you have more chances of getting noticed. That is one about applying at conferences, and the other is networking. I think Stephanie already did a great job covering that. So I did network during conferences, but I also tried to network with people on LinkedIn. And sometimes I was straight up like, I would just find random people, like go in the LinkedIn search bar, look for the company I wanted to work at or I was applying to, message some of the employees, message some recruiters, tell them that this is what I'm interested in, this is what I'm doing. Is there any way that you can put me in contact with the right person or the appropriate recruiter or things like that? Or if it was an employee, I would request them if they could give me a referral. So these are some of the things I did. For me personally, I've been a very shy person. Me even coming live on YouTube is a big step. I don't like being in front of the camera, if you can already probably tell. So even going and messaging people on LinkedIn took a lot of courage. But once you do your first 5 messages, your first 10 messages, you'll be fine. And think about this: you want that dream job, you want to go get it. So you're going to do anything to go, even if it means messaging random people on LinkedIn or on email or all of that stuff. So I would say step out of your comfort zone and go and network.
I love that. And I, believe it or not, I was also so shy before. So I think like people that are shy just kind of like lead with that, and then we kind of have to like step out of our comfort zone of our shelf, and then just kind of go ahead
Yeah,
and do it. But if anyone's like introvert here or shy person, like it's okay,
yeah,
right? We all have
it's
a seat
okay.
at the table. We all have a seat at the table at the end of the day, right? It's just a matter of really like putting yourself out there. So yeah, that was a great question. You want to take a question from the audience now?
Yeah, we could. Um, or do you want to just do questions from the comments later on at the end?
Oh yeah, that works as well. Yep, let's
Okay,
do the next one then.
okay. So keep the questions coming. We'll get through them after this for sure.
Awesome. What are some actionable steps job seekers can take right now to land their dream roles? Okay, you want to start with this one?
Yep. Maybe. So, depending on where in the world you are, I know for US, the recruiting, at least for tech roles, starts again next year. Some of them are still on, but and other countries, they've just started. So, I don't know. This is just general advice. So I'm not going to give you like a timeline, but I'm going to tell you just start preparing. Doesn't matter whether you've already applied, you still haven't gotten a job, or you've already got and you're looking for something full time next year. Just keep preparing throughout the year. Doesn't matter if you don't start preparing when you've applied, like Stephanie said earlier. Start preparing throughout the year, network with the right people. And one thing I would say, at least for technical roles, take up projects, take up internships, take up volunteering work. I know a lot of people say that if you're doing something, don't do it for free. But honestly, at this point, you can take in as much experience. You're not doing completely for free, or at least getting some experience. So if you feel uncomfortable working for a for-profit company for free, which is totally valid, I wouldn't encourage that either. But if it's a non-profit, sure, why not? Go and get some skills, get some experience, team up with your friends and do some project on the side, and get as much experience as you can. So when you're interviewing, you can actually talk about these experiences. When they ask you about teamwork, you can automatically relate to when you had this project to do with friends, or when they ask about certain skills, you can, or some technical projects, you can already relate to all this work you did for some organization, or you did as a side project, attend hackathons, anything you can do to get your skills up. And that is on the project side, but this is especially for people who've asked about Google Step. In the comments, I'm just going to quickly cover a little bit of it. Start lead coding. Don't start at the last moment. It's a nightmare. I've been there. I hated it in the beginning, but I've grown to love it. So just start solving it. Doesn't matter if you do one a day, just stay consistent and keep doing it. I'm not going to give a whole session of how you can do lead code better maybe some other day, but this is what you can do. Like, start preparing right now, and put some things on your resume so that it gets across to the recruiter and it's screened. So this is the right time to put things on your resume that can be screened when you put in your applications.
Love that. Thank you for sharing that. And I would
Mhm.
say some actionable steps that you guys can take right now to land your dream role. It's look, networking will always be there, right? So what you can do is the following. You can create a networking tracker, which there's
Mhm.
tons of templates
Yep.
out there on the internet. You can just use one of those, and then you can start putting people from your dream role that you want to actually reach out to or do a coffee chat with, right? You're gonna put their LinkedIn links, and you're just gonna like fill in on the information, and then you're gonna reach out to those people. Once you reach out to them, the goal is to do like informational interviews with recruiters or just like do coffee chats with individuals, because those might be people who can refer you in the future. And just in general, like those might be the people that you end up working with. Like I know a lot of people who have like started like reaching out, let's say to software engineer at Google, and then they end up working together, right? So it's those little things that can really make a difference. The next actionable step that I would take would be doing your research right about now, right? But at the same time, understand some of the main key projects that the company is working on. So why I say that, it's because you want to know what the company's pain points and challenges are, and this is just in general, right? But chances are, like if you do the research like how I do it, like early on before like even like they start recruiting, chances are that those projects might be old, like the research that you do. So make sure that you do your research on key terms like that you're doing it up to date, that you're doing it currently, so you know like what are the current pain points for companies. For example, COVID-19 and the pandemic happened, and we kind of like I spoke about this before, but like a lot of companies face a lot of challenges due to COVID, right? So for you, this is kind of like an opportunity to step up and say, what are some of the current challenges that the company I want to work for is facing, and how can I, from my perspective, add value and help them solve that problem, right? So whenever you approach like those interviews, or whenever you approach like the job search in general, always put yourself into how can I help the company solve something, like how can I help them go from facing that challenge to continue growing, right? And I feel like that it's important because people don't think like that. Like people don't think that they have anything to offer just in general, right? And so I feel like adding those two actionable steps, you guys will be like up here when it comes to like the job search, like just way advanced to like I think me and Sasha was before when we started applying. So I hope like these steps helps everyone.
Mhm.
Awesome.
So,
I love that. Write one goal in the chat you want to accomplish by summer. Okay, what is your goal, Sashi? What do you want to accomplish by the summer?
uh, okay, wait. There's so many. Um, I don't know. Maybe it's very
Well, I can tell
particular.
you. I
Mhm.
want to be fully prepared for my internship in terms of like anything I need to know,
Yeah.
meeting people and like I mean, I know like for technical roles you guys probably have to like refresh in a lot of like those technical things, right? So that's what I want to do personally. What do you want to do?
So I would say you stole my answer, but yeah, I also want to prepare for my internship, but at the same time, I want to learn some other coding stuff and libraries and frameworks that I don't already know and become a better coder in general. So there are certain certifications I want to take. I'm not going to start listing them right now, but I want to accomplish them, like get those certifications by summer. And if that counts, I want a scuba diving license. But
I love that. I love that. I should get started on that as well. Awesome. So you want to go to the next question? How do you
Yep.
properly cold message? Oh my gosh. Guys, I get asked the question all the time. How do you cold message someone? So you want to start? You're gonna get a status on that?
Um, so how do you probably cold message someone? And at the same time, I think we have one more question in the chat that is totally related to this. Uh, Asking recruiter for a talk or a coffee chat a little weird. How should be the icebreaker for the same? Yeah, so both the questions will cover both together. And let me point out, no question is lame or layman or nothing like that. All questions are welcome and they're all valid enough. So don't worry about that. So when you're cold messaging someone, it's different. If you're doing it on LinkedIn, it only has a character limit. So, what I do on LinkedIn is first I send them a small intro and then tell them that I can send you more information as the last line, because I also sometimes explicitly mention in the message that I can only share so much because of the character limit. I can I can share more information when we can connect or something like that. And once we connect with someone, we usually get a notification that you have connected to XYZ person or XYZ person accepted your connection. That's when I send them a whole proper email message with my resume attached. So beforehand, it doesn't really have to be always like, hey, how are you? How's the weather? And those standard icebreakers. Everybody knows what people are on LinkedIn for. So it doesn't have to be about, hey, I saw um, you were XYZ in that company. No, it doesn't always have to be about, hey, you're based in California, how's the weather there? Nope. You can go straight to the point. Hey, I see you work for this company, and I saw maybe your maybe so this is what I like to do. If somebody announces, I'm excited to announce I got accepted at XYZ position, and they usually mention their recruiters, I click on the recruiter's profile, go to that recruiter's profile and mention that person in the email. Hey, I saw this connection of mine got accepted into this program. This is my background. I would also be interested in it. That is something you can do. Like, would you mind connecting so I can send you my resume, or I can send you over my complete profile, tell you more about myself, things like that. So always find connections with people in some way or the other, and don't be afraid to at least say what you want, you know, because some people I know also get annoyed by hi, how are you, because they have tens of thousands of messages to go through, especially recruiters. And when they only get hey, how are you, and then you're waiting for them to reply so that you can send your next question, is not going to happen, because they're not there to coffee chat on LinkedIn. You can schedule a coffee chat on LinkedIn, but they're not there to coffee chat on LinkedIn. I don't know if you got the difference, but that's what I meant.
No, I love that, and I was putting in the comments here, like honestly, there are recruiters out there that are literally telling you what you should do when
Mhm,
you're messaging them, because these recruiters are creating content on LinkedIn, and they literally tell you on their post like, this is how you should reach out to me. So if they tell you how you should do it, then literally go ahead and do that, right? So for example, I have a friend. She's recruiting for IBM, and if anyone here in the live is interested in working at IBM, I definitely recommend you guys go on my LinkedIn, check one of my last posts, and you'll see her comment there. And she literally states on the comment how you should reach out to her. Like literally on the message, she says like, "Hey, this is how you should reach out to me. Please include the job ID. Please include this and this and this." She's literally telling you like, this is what you should do, right? So I would do that first. Like try to find those recruiters that are active on LinkedIn that create content as well, and try to reach out to those, because chances are they are more active on LinkedIn, and hence they might be more lenient to like get on a coffee chat or just like respond to your messages.
mhm,
Sometimes we get stuck because we reach out to a recruiter, for example, and like we never get a response, but not everyone is on LinkedIn as an active user, right? So like there might be recruiters out there that barely use LinkedIn, right? Or just use it for job purposes, but they don't really like interact as much with people. And then like if we don't get a response from people or from recruiters, we say like, oh, I never got a response. Like, why should I continue doing this? Well, try to find the people that are active on LinkedIn. You know how you do that? Go on LinkedIn, go on the search toolbar, put recruiter, right? Type recruiter and then put content. You're gonna see all the recruiters start creating content on LinkedIn right about now, right? Why is this important? Is because you can get or I guess like a higher rate of responses from people who are active on LinkedIn as opposed to people who are like not active. And that's just like been proven, like with people who like respond versus who doesn't respond, right? But how do you properly call message someone? Just quickly, I would say is be concise and be to the point. Like, don't be afraid to say like what you want and what you want to achieve out of the conversation. But at the same time, like, don't attach your resume. Like, don't just send in your resume. Like, hey, here's my resume. Can you edit it? Or like, hey, hi. I
Yeah.
received a lot of messages like that. Like, hi, how are you? You know what I mean? Like it doesn't really tell me much. So be concise, be to the point, but also don't be transactional. Like I used to be transactional. Like transactional is like you only wanna like reach out to that person just because like you gotta wanna get a job and that's it, right? Like
Yeah.
be genuine about it. Like you wanna establish a relationship. That
Mhm.
you're just not messaging them for them to get your resume edited or like to get feedback on your resume or just like to get a job. Like there should be some sort of like two-way street. Like
Yeah.
you can ask them like how can I help you? Like a lot of the times
Mhm.
you never know, but you might be able to help someone. So just ask them like how can I help you? And that makes a lot of difference as opposed to just like be transactional.
Yep. That is very important.
Mm, awesome.
So the next one, best networking practices. But before that, I just want to give a shout out to this. It is great that you want to grow your podcast, which is very interesting. And if you want, you can feel free to share your podcast link in the comments if you want.
Yeah, I know Paloma. Paloma is it's a friend, fellow. She's part of the Max Up community. Paloma, if
Oh.
you want to grow your podcast, put it in the comments here, so we can all see it. And hey, that software engineering internship, it's coming. That's all I'm gonna say. Awesome. So, best networking practice. You want to start?
You can start.
Okay, so for best networking practices, okay, so let's put the facts out there, right? So networking shouldn't be artificial, meaning like robotic, like just like before it used to be this thing where like people think about networking as something scary, like oh my gosh, I'm gonna reach out to someone that I don't know, and it's very scary sometimes, but it shouldn't be. Right. So these are some of the ways that you can like just make networking more efficient for you as a whole. Number one, come to these events, right? So events like this where you meeting people on the comments, meeting people who like you have a like-minded, that they want to achieve their goals, that they want to, land their dream roles. Come to events like this and connect with the people on these events. You'll see 20, 30, 50 people on the comments. I would reach out to them and I would connect with them because those might be the people who you end up doing a project with in the future. Those might be the people who you end up working with in the future, right? I remember one person who came to our events last year and he connected with like three other individuals from the comments and he ended up, I believe, doing a project together for like just to gain experience on something, and they were able to add that to their resume. And that's the beauty of networking, right? But you need to like kind of like take it a step further. The next thing I would say, this is a very, very useful app that is currently happening right now, which is Clubhouse. So if anyone here is not on Clubhouse yet, I'll definitely recommend for you to be on Clubhouse. Look it up on the App Store. It's currently only for iPhones, but I
Mhm.
definitely recommend everyone to use Clubhouse. I have like 3 or 4 invites. If anyone needs an invite, just put on the comments. If you want an invite from Clubhouse, just put me on the comment and put your name in Clubhouse.
I have two
Now
invites too, so.
you have two. Okay, let's give 5 invites. 5 invites for Clubhouse. Everyone, if you're interested, put it in the comments, and we'll be selecting people to give free invites. As you know, the app is only by invites. So if you want to get an invite from us, just put it in the comments, and we'll give you guys the invites. But yeah, Clubhouse is another great opportunity now for networking. It's one of the it's literally so easy to use. Like you open the app, you go into a room, you hear people, listen to people talking. If you want to ask a question, you go on the stage, you ask a question, or you could be a moderator and have your own room and just talk about whatever you want. Like literally, it's whatever you want. Like it doesn't have to be professional. Like it can be. I've seen people doing karaoke's on Clubhouse. That's how crazy it is, right? So if you guys are interested, like as we said, put it in the comments. We'll give you guys an invite. And I literally grew my network from Clubhouse to like a lot of people, like from all over, right? So this is a great way to connect with people. I'll definitely recommend it. But what do you think are the best networking practices?
That was a joke out there. Um, yeah. So, best networking practices for me is first getting a clear list, or like clear your head of what kind of people you want to network with. Of course, every network is great, but just like an idea, like do you want to go to conferences and network? Do you want to network on LinkedIn? Like, I know it's good to try all at once and you should be networking wherever you go, but I'm specifically focusing on the shy crowd over here that that can find it overwhelming to go all in at once. So first try and start small. Network with 5 people first. See, learn from that networking skills. What could have you done differently? Could you have changed your questions? Could you have done a better icebreaker? Could you have been more engaging, or maybe even a better listener? And then once you learn from that, then reach out to more people. That is just about how you go about networking. But other than that, I think Stephanie already covered a lot of great points. I just want to reinforce one point, that don't make your networking completely selfish, that you're only talking to them because you want something. Talk to them, form a genuine connection, and even after you've gotten what you want, or maybe you network with recruiters from 3 companies and you got in one company, don't leave the other 2 out in the hole just because you're done with them. Keep in touch. You never know when some things might click, maybe 5 years down the line, but um, don't start ignoring people once you've accomplished what you want. Keep in touch with everyone. So this is like a post networking best practice, but make sure you form genuine connections is all I'll say.
I love that. I love that. Awesome. So we're almost getting to the last 10 minutes of the live. So if anyone has like any questions, we'll be taking questions from the audience as well. So this is your time to put the questions out there. If you guys have any questions, but yeah, so okay, the question that everyone was waiting for. So how do you break into Google or any company in general? You want to start?
Yeah, sure. I can talk specifically for technical or PM roles, since I did both as such. So, if you want to break into any technical role first, I'll talk about that. Sweet roles, do technical projects. That's the number one. Do volunteering projects, build up your technical skills. So, this is what I'll tell you. What you learn in class, in your technical classes, CS classes, is definitely useful, but that's not the end of it. There's always YouTube, there's all these other free code camp and all the blogs. Learn as much as you can. Participate in fellowships, for example the MLH fellowship, Outreachy. All of these organizations are great. They'll teach you skills that you would apply in actual internships, and you can also talk about them during interviews. They're definitely great on your resume. And try contributing to open source, if nothing at all. um, you don't need to understand large code base and all. You just need to start contributing little by little. And if you're completely new to this, just a quick promo. We are starting an open source program very soon, maybe next week or in March, with 2 other great organizations that would prepare you to apply to Google Summer of Code. If you all don't know about that, we've contacted people who've already been admins or mentors at GSOC, and they would be coming and guiding you through your open source journey, as well as helping you with the proposals and how you can increase your chances of applying and write a better proposal. So stay tuned for that. So this is just one example of enhancing your skills on the SWE side. And on the PM side, if anybody is interested in PM roles in this, in whoever's watching, I don't know, but in general, PMs require a lot of leadership and entrepreneurship experience. So it doesn't mean that every single person has to start a company or an organization or something like that. Just be a leader in your school club, get involved in your student government or something like that. Go out to community shelters, start volunteering over there, take up a position of authority somewhere, maybe a community you're part of, and show leadership experience throughout your uh, projects or outside work or school, and don't make it just during the year of the internship. So make sure you consistently have that, because I'm sure they can easily tell when someone's doing something only for the sake of their resume that year, you know. Make sure you're genuinely interested in that. And that's all I would say. Like, first step is making your resume strong. Only then you'll be able to break in into the applicant tracking system. Once you do that, prepare well. I mean, before you apply, you need to start preparing. But as soon as you apply, start preparing. Don't wait for recruiters to reach out or anyone to reach out. Just start preparing and prepare well, given a lot of time and effort, because how much ever time you given now is going to be like vested over the years. And I think that's it.
No, those were great advices. Yeah, I would say for like Google or any company in general, like as she mentioned, like your resume, like make sure your resume is always good to go, right? So I think a lot of the times we kind of like wait a little bit for like our resumes to be good, or like, oh, like I can edit my resume later, and then like next thing you know, later is when like the application's open, then we're just rushing to like get the resume like review or something like that. So I would say like try to get your resume ready. um the other thing is, as we keep mentioning, like networking, try to like network as much as you can now, because like it is it is very competitive. So it's a very competitive market out there, everyone knows that, right? So um now more than ever, a lot of people are applying for these programs, right? So one of the ways, like she mentioned, was like conferences. So Google, for example, just opened their LSLS conference, which is only for Hispanic students. But if you're Hispanic, or if you have a friend who is Hispanic, they're basically taking 100 computer science and software engineering students from the US and Puerto Rico to basically go to a conference where you can learn about Google and like what they do and like technical roles and things like that. That is a great way to like put your foot in the door, basically. And I know they do like different conferences like this, and all the companies do conferences like this. One of the best ways to know like how these conferences happen is going on their website, on their career page, and then they probably have like an event section where you'll see like they have
Mhm.
summits and workshops and things like that. I know like even Google have like careers, grow with Google, and basically they have like recruiters and other people from like the company to like review your resume. You can have like you can set up an appointment, I think it is, and they review your resume, and like they do workshops on like resume life and things like that. So like I would definitely recommend everyone to check that out, grow with Google. And this is like for every company in general, like if not just like music cool, like every company, you should really know what you want to do in terms of the role, right? So sometimes you're like so into the company that we kind of forget like what role that we really want to do at the company. There's so many different roles in these companies, and you kind of want to narrow it down to what you really want to do, because when you walk into those interviews, or even like when you're in an informational interview with a recruiter, if you don't really know what you want to do and you tell them like, I'm not sure yet what I want to do, they wouldn't be able to help you, right? Because like you don't really know yourself what you want to do.
Mhm.
And so for them, it's like so hard for them to tell you like you should do this versus you should do that. It's more of like what do you really want to do and how I can help you from a recruiter perspective. So I think keeping that in mind, like really try to like narrow it down and learn about what you want to do. And then from there take it into going into informational interviews and things like that. So those would be like the thing of like breaking into these companies. I did a lot of like live events about like how to break into tech and break into Google. If you guys are interested, there are on my profile on LinkedIn as well. And you guys can go and watch them as well. But yeah, I just put in a blog as well because I know it's actually a blog, so I'm gonna put a blog too. We at Max Up are doing a Get Your Summer series. So it's basically for people who don't have a summer internship and want to get a summer internship at any company from every industry, from any roles. So basically, all you gotta do is just be a college student, basically. But if you guys are interested, just keep following us. Keep up with our content because we will be posting that soon, and you guys definitely do not want to miss out if you don't have a summer internship yet. You guys can follow us as well and get more information about that. But yeah, we have 5 minutes left. You want to take any last minute questions?
I sure we can. I just wanted to add one point about the resume thing I spoke earlier. Just because you need to add more experience on your resume also does not mean that you take up everything that comes your way. Make sure it actually adds something to your resume, because people can always tell when you're doing 10 things at the same time, then you're not paying attention to one thing and it probably wasn't that impactful. So do a few things, see which ones are actually impactful, and do those. That is about the resume quickly. And I also wanted to point out that we have a blog where we post experiences of other people who've got into all these programs and internships. You can also check our channel that has previous videos. They are more in depth with people who are already employees at these companies and what their questions were like and how did they prepare. This was just a general session focused more on our failures and improving our strategies. But if you want more in depth experience of people who got in and what was the interview experience like, you can either check on our blog, even on MaxUp's profile, as well as our channel. We have live Q&As with these people.
I
Um,
love it. Um, we have one question. If you want, we can take that question now and then close it up there. Um, can undergraduate first semester students, what would you say to the person things they should do often? I guess like what would you say to freshman students what they could be doing to prepare for like their sophomore or junior internship?
I would say start saying yes. I mean, whatever your reservations are, if somebody asks you, do you want to work on something? Say yes. Do you want to network? Say yes. Can I get your phone number? Say yes. I mean, in appropriate situations, I meant say yes to your phone number, but that's what I meant. Like, start networking with people, start going out, and start stepping out of your comfort zone.
I agree. And I think like I wish when I was a freshman I would have done like volunteering work or like being part of clubs and organizations. Like even if there's not a club for like your specific major on campus, try to come up with your own club. Like I've been telling some people about this, but really like create your own project, your club, right? Like you're the founder of the computer science club for women engineers at your school, right? Do that. Don't hesitate, like because you're a freshman and you're just starting off. Like if you don't feel as if the clubs are on campus or organizations, like if you don't feel like you belong there, if you don't feel like if you feel like you can do much more, try to create your own club, bring your own members, create your own community, put that on your resume. That shows leadership experience, and as a freshman shows a lot, right? Because you're a freshman, companies are not really expecting you to have like work experience yet, but they do want to see how involved you are in the community, how involved you are on campus. And so I would say like go to club meetings, go to organizations, become part of e-board for different clubs, create your own club, and start networking. Like I see high school students on LinkedIn, you know what I mean? High school students. Like if you're a freshman in college, like you should be killing the game right now in terms of like connecting with people and like reaching out to others, coming to events and networking, because high school students are already on LinkedIn. So I'd say like as before it used to be like freshmen were like kind of like early in the game, but now it's like if high school students are here, then as a freshman you're late in the game. Right? So just like and you know, take it easy, of course, in terms of like enjoy your college life, your college journey, because you're just starting, but at the same time make sure that you're kind of like surrounding yourself with the right people and you're like developing those networking skills early on. That's what I would say.
Mhm. Okay, I think we can wrap up.
Yep, I think we can wrap up here. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Shout out to all of you. It's about to be 1 p.m. in New York, but I know it's like super late in other countries. It's like like 10 a.m. in the West Coast as well. So thank you everyone for joining us today. Thank you Scholarship Track for doing this with all of us.
Mhm.
This live will be safe on MaxUp's LinkedIn page and also on Scholarship Track's YouTube channel if you guys want to go watch and replay. And if any of your questions were not answered, feel free to comment them on the post here. We'll answer those questions.
And
And
you can message us on LinkedIn as well.
yeah, exactly. Message us on LinkedIn, guys. Like connect with us on LinkedIn. Let us know if you have any questions. Follow our pages, and we're here to help you. So thank you so much. Sasha, any last minute words?
No, thank you everyone for joining and hope this was valuable and keep giving us feedback on what you would like to see and what other content should we come up with or who others should we try and get to feature on our channel so that you all can ask some questions that are relevant. So please give us any feedback that you have about today's session and in general.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for joining us here today. You can also follow me on Instagram, on TikTok, pretty much everywhere with my name. I'm like this at Stephanie Nuesi everywhere. Please follow Scholarship Track as well. Follow Max Up. And
Thank
again, thank
you.
you so much for being here today. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye.